So yeah, before we get started, I just want to say that I appreciate every single last one of you guys who clicked on this video. I put a lot of effort into this, and I really hope it shows. This it took a minute. It definitely took a minute. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and laugh a little, nigga.
Hey, Lee, you know how to pick a lock, right?
No. Why would you say that?
Well, you're, urban?
The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. It's a game beloved even a whole decade plus after release, and did so well Telltale released 3 more games afterwards, not including the spinoffs. The first game revolves around Lee Everett, a history teacher who was on his way to prison after killing the guy and his wife, and Clementine, a little girl left alone in a zombie apocalypse who Lee protects throughout the game. You see their relationship build as they survive in this world alongside a very colorful cast of characters. Now, like any other game, the storytelling and the interactions you have with the characters makes the game enjoyable. I don't know about you, but what makes the game so good to me is the decision-based aspect of them. Not only do you get to form how weak or strong of a bond you build with certain characters, you also get to decide how different scenarios play out in the game. Now, me and you both, we're both human. So we're going to have different opinions on certain characters and choices you make in the game. Was this character good? Was this character bad? Was this choice justified? Blah, 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 blah. For example, Ben.
Cass is a good dude. He is a solid big man. Enzo is a fucking abortion.
Is a no good, lousy son of a bitch.
Hey!
That's exactly what he is. But he's a no good bastard for what he did, and he ought to burn in hell for it.
I want him to die. If I could get away with murdering him and not go to jail, I would. I hate him worse than anything that has ever walked on this planet. The thought of him breathing disgusts me.
And then what was your reaction to learning that he passed away?
I ain't a fuck. Well, my fault. I heard about it. I'm like, oh well.
Ben is one of the worst characters in the Walking Dead series. Easy. And I know I'm gonna have a lot of Ben apologists watching this video right now. Shit, nigga, you might be one of them. I don't care. I'm gonna speak my truth. Let's take a look at Ben's resume here, guys. This nigga Ben got 5 innocent people killed, destroyed a man's family and mental health, fucking left a 9-year-old to die to a horror zombies, and just constantly puts a group in danger doing stupid shit over and over and over again. And I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy and run defense for him because he was just a kid, or he was just really scared, or a piece of non-canon lore that doesn't matter and is meaningless because it's not a part of the fucking game. Doesn't bad thing make you feel bad? Don't you feel bad? Pretty please feel bad. No other character needs this treatment. I want to defend Kenny, I could use the in-game scenes. AJ, in-game scenes. Fuck, Lily, in-game scenes. I think it's very telling of the puddle-sized well these people dig into when this is their Exodia final trump card, one shot kills all fucking move. Do not get it confused either. Ben is not sorry for a single thing he does. Feeling bad and being sorry are not the same thing. If I cheat on my girl right now, I could feel sorry seeing her cry and break down in front of me. But if I'm still out here fucking other bitches on the side after she takes me back, I'm not sorry! That's not what that is! When you're sorry, you change. Ben's character development is a straight fucking line. There's never a moment in the game where he actually does something productive and becomes competent and helps the group out. The closest thing we get to that is a scene in the bell tower, but even that fails because Lee had more than enough time to pull him up, and him being all gay and sappy only put him in more danger. I don't want to drag this out anymore. The ending of Walking Dead Season 2 was probably the most divisive and polarizing scene in the game. I can't think of a moment off the top of my head that's as 50-50 as that choice was. I've always wanted to talk about this and give my thoughts on it, but I never really knew how to. I don't really do video essays. This is a fitness channel. So after some thought, this is the best way I could think of to mix both fitness and this scene together and make this beautiful hodgepodge, baby. I don't know if you played the games or not, but if you have, you know like 80% of the cast dies in like every game. But not all deaths are the same. Some deaths are just caused from a general lack of athleticism and strength and could have been prevented if they had those traits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 3 scenes. In each scene, someone died due to them not being athletic enough. And I'll break down the scene, go over what they could have done in the weight room to survive, working our way up to the end of season 2. Not a bad idea, right? You know, it could be worse. It could be worse. It could be like when in season 2 of The Walking Dead, Clementine and Crystal are all alone. Now, if you remember, Omid was with them, but he kind of, and Crystal was pregnant here too, but there's no baby. Crystal leaves to go find some firewood, but not much time after, a group of bandits try to rob her. Clem's able to dip out, but she starts getting chased by a bandit. This guy's name is Winston, and for all the cardio he just did, he still ended up getting bodied by an 11-year-old girl. Let's break down the tape. What the fuck was that? Ray Lewis, relax. I love how he's so excited to murder this 10-year-old that he loses all common sense and does the dumbest shit he could possibly do. You could have just wrapped her up. Come on, bro. I think Winston got CTE. Like the full-blown CTE, not the weak shit AB got. Head trauma, hunger, no ass, and being musty all day for the past 3 years, I think has run this nigga's brain, okay? Because, you know, that's the only answer I can come up with to why he's acting like this.
Jesus, are you fucking kidding me? No!
Do you guys remember? I don't think Clem could get 10% of those questions right. And somehow she was still able to body this 40-year-old man. Like, he is giving 100% of his effort here. And he's only like 20% stronger than Clementine. Winston's biggest problem is that he's not athletic enough. I think that's why he keeps trying to lower his shoulder instead of wrapping her up in the beginning. He needs to get stronger on pulling movements too. So this is what I would recommend. 4 cones, icky drills, and sled pulls. With the 4 cones, you need to set them up in a square. And without crossing your feet, shuffle from cone to cone. You can backpedal, you can go side to side, you can go across, it doesn't matter. The point of this drill is for Winston to get comfortable moving in more than just a straight line. Icky drills are for footwork, agility, and coordination. Some simple shit like 1 foot in, 1 foot out should be good for him. Sled pulls are for building explosive pulling strength, and they also work your lower body. Get a sled, a thick rope, and tie them together. Put as much weight as you can handle and just start rolling it towards you. All of these for 3 sets at a moderate rep range, like 5 to 10, should be more than enough for Winston here. You know, Winston didn't have the best showing on screen. One thing I will give him though is that he was keeping up with Clem. And bro really wasn't getting tired either. Although it wasn't polarizing with the way he was moving, he was getting active. He was getting active, you know. You can definitely tell he had a healthy...
Oh, God. Dad? No. Dad, come on. Dad!
In season 1, episode 2 of The Walking Dead, Lily, Lee, Clem, and Kenny are all trapped in the cellar at the St. June's farm. After finding out that this wholesome family were a bunch of cannibals, and after Mark got the drumstick treatment, all hell broke loose.
Kenny, no!
What the fuck? The fucking what?
Put your guns down! We're walking out of here!
Near my fucking family!
I don't want to die.
Come on!
Larry's livid after what just happened. After pounding the door and working himself up, he dies of a heart attack. Larry is 6'4", 300 pounds. That's a lot of weight to have in your heart. Not only that, he was also in the military, so he probably was a drinker too. For reasonable reasons or for reasonable reasons. First of all, he needs to hit some cardio. The American Heart Association recommends that those get at least 150 minutes of moderate or 75 minutes of vigorous cardio a week to reduce the risk of heart attacks. That could be biking, walking, jump roping, hiking, swimming, it doesn't really matter. As long as you can stay consistent with it and you enjoy doing it. Next thing he needs is a diet. To start, he needs to get one of these right here. You ever watch a YouTube video or a TikTok of someone saying some shit like, I tried to diet for years and I never lost a single pound. Or, I literally ate like 800 calories a day and I lost no weight. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what I like to call liars. Because the issue with most people who try to lose weight is that they think they know everything. And not only do they think they know everything with confidence. Oh, as long as I eat healthy food, I'll lose weight. Oh, if I fast for XYZ amount of hours, I'll lose weight. Oh, if I do this specific diet and only this diet, I'll lose weight. I don't need no fucking food scale. Who do you think I am? I know the fuck I'm doing. This shit finna be a breeze. And then they stop dieting after 2 weeks and they never do it again. You have no idea how many calories you're eating unless you weigh it out. I know, you gotta show your working math. Crazy concept, I get it. Just get the scale, guys. It's like 12 bucks on Amazon. You know, if you could know, why wouldn't you? I think if Larry does his weekly cardio and eats around 2,200 to 2,000 calories a day, that he'll start losing weight. Depending on what's more sustainable for him, he can play around with the numbers. If he wants to be less hungry and have a slower journey, he can eat more. If he wants to just get the weight off of him, he can eat less. You hear that, Larry? You're saved. You know, Larry was kind of a dick in season 1. But hey, it can't get any worse than him, right? It's 2013, and the second game just came out. Surely Telltale and everyone working on the game came together and made a better season with better characters.
No matter what happens, just stay out of it. You have to trust me. We're gonna see what he really is.
Walking Dead Season 2. I remember when I first watched the playthrough of this game, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. In my heart, it was the second best game in the series. But after watching more in passing, and then again for this video, holy shit, was I wrong. Like, it's better than New Frontier, but like, come on, you know. Don't get me wrong, there's some good moments in the game, but it gets overshadowed by every single character being bogus. All these niggas got issues. And the more I watched, the more clear that became. Even guys that were cool like Luke started to piss me off towards the end of the game. Just a bunch of dysfunction. But the one character that irks me the most, it isn't Sarah, it's not Nick, it's not Bonnie's snake ass, no. There's not enough meat on the bone with them compared to Jane. Now when we first meet Jane, Jane was cool. I didn't really have a problem with her. And you know, shit, you know what I'm saying? Fine, you know what I'm saying? She ain't too bad. She ain't too bad. But from the escape from house to the end of the game, she really showed me what type of person she was. A selfish, conniving, ignorant weirdo. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's break down what led up to this moment. In Season 2, Episode 4, Kenny, Jane, Clem, and AJ were driving away after these fucking losers robbed us. And trust, we'll get back to these niggas later. Especially you. You fucking queer. After the shooting, we get the car back, and Kenny and Jane start beefing about where we should go. Kenny starts to tell Jane about herself, and then Jane just drops the fucking nuke on this nigga, which leads to a spin out, Kenny getting gas, Jane making Clem drive off, leading to the car crashing. They all end up meeting each other at this rest stop. Kenny and Clem are already there, but then Jane shows up. But there's no baby. Kenny freaks out, Jane gives Clem a little nudge, then Kenny and Jane start fighting, leaving you to decide who gets to live and who dies.
And then I had to choose, like, am I gonna help this man, or am I gonna sit back and just let that shit happen? I had to let it happen.
I gotta go into the characters involved here so you can understand why I think letting Jane get diced up is the right choice. Starting off with Kenny. If you let niggas talk long enough, Kenny is this manic, abusive monster that needs to get put down like a dog who pissed on grandma's carpet. I'm not gonna paint this picture that Kenny never did anything wrong, but I will defend him and say that he was right a lot of the time. And y'all are kind of dragging the bad things that he did do. Kenny does like 2 bad things that I would say were just straight up bad. After that, I co-sign everything else this man did. His carelessness and awful escape plans after being kidnapped by Carver is one of them, in the surreal situation, which although bad, with a little bit of additional context, doesn't make him irredeemable. But that's the thing though with these people. They have a tendency to just leave out context when talking about Kenny. For example, the Arvo situation. I don't know what's this community's undying loyalty for the cut characters in these games, but it's fucking egregious. Arvo is a horrible person, and he's been scanned by like that's not true. Back at the Civil War site, Clem and Jane ran to Arvo on top of the deck. Jane sees his supplies, and being the person that she is, tries to rob him for his shit. I'll speak on Jane's involvement in this later on, but regardless if you co-sign with her and take his stuff, or you let him walk, it does not matter, because in a couple of days, who do we see? And look, he's coming bearing gifts. Regardless if you steal from this guy or not, he tells his group about us and tries to rob and kill us. Do you know what that means? The second he saw Clem and Jane, he saw a lick. How is this a good person? Why am I supposed to feel bad for a guy who's literally a part of the reason we got into a shootout and almost died? Why? Because his sister and friends died? Them killing us was literally best case scenario. Him and his group would have moved on with their lives as if nothing ever happened. So I'm 155% on Kenny's side with not wanting to be all nice and tender with this nigga. So imagine my shock that after a shooting, a literal fight with guns where someone on our side got shot, penetrated, everyone in that bitch is running max level defense for this nigga after almost dying. Now Kenny's the bad guy for wanting to kill him and not acting like his fan the whole time after we kidnapped him. What takes the icing off the cake for me, bro, are these 3 weirdos right here trying to run off with our supplies and car. Why? Because Kenny was mean to him. That's it. You know what the funniest part is? After these guys try to rob us, after these guys run max defense for Arvo, hell, you too could have been on Arvo's side the entire time. Not steal from him, be nothing but kind of respectful to him, fucking try to save him from Kenny's ass whooping, the whole 9 yards. You know what this grimy son of a bitch still decides to do though?
It's fine. Just...
No! It's like, you can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up. Going back to Jane. Everything Kenny says about her in the car was 100% on the money. She does only care about herself. She is a hypocrite. She is stupid. She real deal is a horrible person. Imagine alluding to a woman who's hours away from giving birth that she needs to do something about her baby, then cry like a bitch when she texts you about it. Then, in less than, what, a couple hours, you're on top of a deck getting none of it and crushed. Just spread wide the fuck open, but ain't had no defenses. Bitch, you ain't had no defenses. Luke was in there making that motherfucking stink, and y'all was supposed to be on lookout. Not only did she get pregnant from this, but if you side with Jane and leave with her, we end up finding out in season 3 that she wanted to participate in the Kurt Cobain challenge and just beep, leaving a 12-year-old and a baby to survive in the zombie apocalypse. Cool. Remember guys, this is Miss Survival of the Fittest. No big groups, maximum stuff, no nonsense, okay? Because survival is number 1, right, Jane? This was so unnecessary, at least in the way that it happens. Because if you remember, we've seen pregnant women be competent survivors in The Walking Dead. It's possible. And wouldn't you know it, someone who was right by a lady who was pregnant is also with Jane. If she just had a regular one-on-one conversation with Clem to at least inform her about how she was feeling, she would probably be alive right now. Or at least give it more thought after hearing Clem's side about Chris's pregnancy. I don't know, maybe come up with an actual plan than what she actually did. But nah, fuck them kids. Her trying to rob Arvo was some more bullshit. Yeah, let's rob the guy who can clearly see our faces and not kill him or anything afterward. People don't take revenge or anything, right? Now again, Arvo was always gonna rob you, but it's the intent of it, you know? It's the principle. Now everything I brought up was crazy irresponsible on her part, but the way she handled this whole final act with Kenny and this baby really puts the final nail in the coffin for me. After the spin up with the car, some zombies show up and they need to leave. Now these zombies are a pretty solid distance away, so you'll think that the only motherfucker in the car who could drive and is also sitting in the passenger seat would just take the 5 seconds to switch spots and take the wheel, right? Nope. She just tells her 11-year-old to step on the gas and let Jesus take the wheel, apparently. Which, of course, leads to the car crashing. Luckily, no one died. The crash leads to Jane making a horrible decision, but I'll get into that a little bit later because I want to talk about the surreal situation.
You hear that, babe? Clementine says she's worried about me. She is going to die. Because of you.
You think because you're a little girl, you can just get people killed and no one will care? That because you're sorry, it'll all magically go away? That's not how it works!
This is a really shitty thing to do to Clementine. Of course, Saria's death isn't her fault, nor did she need to be blamed for it, so I'm not going to excuse what he did. 100% not okay. I just don't agree with this being the point of no return for him for like 2 reasons. Number 1, in a span of what, maybe a week, Kenny literally lost everything. A big cabin with hot full electricity, a group of friends, a love interest. He was literally in Walker Paradise a couple days ago, and then poof. So yes, this was a shitty thing for him to do. But can we give the man some grace? Can he not have one moment of weakness with everything going on in his life at this moment? Does he have to be this irredeemable boogeyman? Until he gave a real sincere apology.
I'm sorry for how I acted back there. After Sarita was... I couldn't handle it. I'm sorry. I mean, you did what you could. You tried to help, and I blamed you for it. I'm so sorry.
I could have done more.
No, don't say that. You did everything you could. I'm sorry if anything I said made you feel any different than that. It just makes me feel awful. I know I can be a real shit sometimes.
Stop.
No, it's true. But
And not only that, he changed from the situation. Kenny's supposed to be this manic control freak who just spazzes out anytime he doesn't get his way. So surely something like getting killed will spark this rage again, right? Surely he'll berate Clem here and tell her how much of a stupid kid she is.
I let everyone down.
No, it's my fault.
No, No, you did what you had to. You don't ever have to apologize for that.
Not only did he apologize for what he did, he actively changed from the situation. And on his way out, he made sure Clem left with the least amount of guilt as possible. You niggas can never make me hate Kenny. Now back to this ploy Jane had. Let's rewind. So Kenny and Jane get into it, which leads to Kenny spinning out. Realizing he can get Diesel from the cars, he dips out. Zombies start approaching, and as I brought up before, Jane chooses to not take the 5 seconds to switch seats for a proper escape. And of course, the car ends up crashing. Again, they all meet up at the rest stop, and Jane finally shows up with no baby. Remember the goal of this plan, to show how unstable Kenny is. So what was her master plan to prove this theory? She pretends she got a baby killed, a baby that's one of the few things he's solely attached to, and just leaves him in a car all by himself with fucking zombies prowling around. I bet that never even crossed her mind. Or maybe she just doesn't care. Maybe she just didn't care about the safety of the 3-day-old. All of this to prove a point. And you might say, Trey, didn't she tell Kenny that his death wasn't on purpose? And to that I'll say, death by complete negligence or just straight up murder would not have tempered his reaction here. Either way, her actions got a baby killed, so I'm not finna be mad at Kenny for the way he acted. Now listen, I got a theory. I think this whole plan was just an elaborate bullshit way to kill Kenny. Think about it. She hid the baby knowing Kenny would get mad and violent, so now in self-defense, she has a reason to attack him. And she also had the advantage given that Kenny was unarmed and Jane had a giant fucking knife. And if you try to stop her from attacking Kenny, she just throws you to the ground and keeps going. What solidifies this for me is once Kenny has her pinned down about to kill her, she never once brings up the fact that AJ's okay. Wouldn't that be the ultimate plan? Get Kenny to beat her up a bit, almost kill her, just to pull the rug from under him and show that the baby was alive this whole time? Clem, look, I told you he was unstable. You trying to hurt me for no reason. Whether or not her plan works out or not, it's up to the player. Do you buy into her bullshit and you shoot one of your day ones, or do you go with a crazy lady? Your choice. Med ball slams, landmine twist, Bulgarian split squats, Vermilion deadlifts, forces 8. Fuck you, nigga.